Yeah, I think she remembers the trail. Good girl. Yep, that's where we go in at. Hey guys and gals, Jeff here with the Common Sense Camper. I'm going to give you some tips if you're going to go hike Dolly Sods. Now, some of these will be specific to Dolly Sods, but most of them are probably going to be specific to any type of hiking or backpacking trip where you're going to do some miles and do it on some less than desirable terrain. So first and foremost, number one, take a comfortable pair of shoes. I wore my Ultra Temp 1.5 shoes. They performed flawlessly. I had no issues, no hot spots, and I did not get any blisters. Leads me to my next thing. Do not expect to go there unless you're wearing waders up to your chest and keep your feet dry. It will not happen. Even if it doesn't rain, say the 3 days you're there or the 2 days you're there, whatever it may be, there are water, stream, and river crossings. So your feet will be wet. Plan on them being wet constantly. The only thing that bothered me with going through those water crossings is not that my feet were wet. That's never seemed to bother me. But the little pieces of sediment, it's kind of like sandpaper that accumulates in the bottom of your shoe. So I did find myself periodically at the next water crossing, taking them off, washing them out, and trying to get that sediment out of there, and then kind of squeegeeing out my socks as well, because it can be a little annoying. The sand isn't really big enough to cause a blister. It's just annoying. So take a good pair of shoes and plan on being wet with your feet pretty much constantly. So that leads me to my next tip for Dolly Sods, and that would be take some type of camp shoes. Now, I took a very light pair weight of flip-flops or sandals. I think they weigh about 5.5 ounces. Your feet will thank you, because when you get to the campsite, you can take off your wet shoes, take off your wet socks, dry them out if you can get a campfire going, and allow your feet to recover. So I did not experience any adverse reactions from having my feet wet all day long, and that's because I was able to dry them out in the evening. So the next thing is water. You don't have to carry a lot of water at Dolly Sods, especially if you're doing the inner trails, which we did, and you are running across water everywhere you go. So I would say that for the trail, you could probably get away with just a 16-ounce water bottle, which is what I did. I just took 16 ounce, clipped it to my pack, and that's what I drank out of. The nice thing is that the campsites, once you arrive there, are not too far away from water sources. So I would just go down, I'd set up my camp and then go down to the water source and get about, for me, about 2.5, 3 liters is plenty for me for overnight. That gives me enough to, kind of clean up a little bit. Coffee, drink mixes, and I dehydrate and vacuum seal all my own food. So I dehydrate my own food and vacuum seal it. So I tend to use a lot less water. It's usually about 1/3 of a cup of water, whereas most of those Mountain House prepackaged meals are about 2 cups. So water is not going to be an issue for you. The other thing is, don't plan on doing major miles if you're doing trails like the breathed trail. That was brutal, and we hit it in the middle of a thunderstorm, and it was pouring down rain. I'm telling you, we worked our tails off to get to that campsite. So the other part of that is rain gear. Take rain gear. I took a Frog Togs top. At some point, my shirt was so soaked, I ended up just taking it off and just wearing the Frog Togs to finish out the breathe trail to our campsite, and it worked really well. It kept me really warm, kept the chill off. The bottoms, I typically just take the bottoms that come with the tops. Now, a lot of people don't like to hike in those because they get really sweaty, but what you can use those for is at night, if it's going to be chilly, you can put those on, and that'll keep your legs warm. But that's how I used them. I didn't use them on the trail at all. It doesn't bother me if my from my waist down gets wet. It doesn't bother me as long as my core is warm. And then last but not least, embrace the suck. That's what Alex kept telling me. Embrace the suck. Because at the end of that is some of the most beautiful campsites, the most beautiful scenery you can just possibly, you can't, the video that I did does not do it justice. It's kind of like when I went to see the Grand Canyon, took all these pictures, you show it to your friends and they're like, yeah, that's nice. The pictures do not do it justice. So embrace the suck, enjoy the scenery. Food, just take normal food, you know, you don't need to pound up on calories or anything like that. And that is one camp area or one park forest where you could probably get away with not taking a camp chair. If you're someone that always takes a camp chair, I think that's one place where you could probably get away with just a Z seat, one of those padded seats, because every campsite has like logs, they've got rocks. People have made like rock lounge chairs or rock Adirondack chairs. So that's probably one place you could get away with not taking a chair if you normally take one. So get out to Dolly Sods, absolutely beautiful. Had a great time and a lot of good memories, a lot of great scenery. This is Jeff with the Common Sense Camper, camping out.